Hello, and welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. We're back today with issue 71 of the Hachette Partworks release of Titanic, the ship, the legend. So, what's in the magazine today? The Poor Man's Titanic, an article on the Italian ship Vesuvio, which sank in 1906. Don't know why they called it the Poor Man's Titanic, but I'm assuming that article will tell you. So, yep. Again, more about the Vesuvio. I think it's all about the same thing, to be honest. Oh no, disembarkation from the Carpathia for the survivors. And again, there's a Cunard Line poster for Carpathia. And that is Ellis Island, the gateway to America, apparently. And that is a photograph from 1909 of immigrants getting their first glimpse of the Statue of Liberty. And finally, there are the lifeboats aboard the Carpathia. And then we're on to the instructions, which, as always, is why we're here. So without further ado, or further babbling, let's see what's in the box. Okay, so in today's box, more deja vu. We have some more AP screws, which we'll need just shortly. We have the final piece of the Promenade Deck, and we have the final decking piece, which comes all in a one this time, and that will just be laid over like that. Looks very nice. Again, not a great deal to do this time either, but with my trusty paintbrush and my glue, I'm doing it again. I do realise that the majority of this month's issues, the time has been spent watching me paint glue onto decking, but I offer no apologies. Again, I could just do it off camera and tell you what I've done, but then you would be deprived of the opportunity to listen to me ramble incoherently about absolutely nothing. So, as I say, the next stage, I believe, is the final stage I have here. And it essentially, for the moment, finishes certainly the decking area of the Promenade Deck, but we still have all these structures to add to it, and they'll be coming in next month's delivery. And as far as I'm aware, I think it's issue 77 we go back to working on the hull itself. So for the next little while, strap in, because we're going to be working on the Promenade Deck until that point. But again, it's a lot more structured. I tend to find Hachette Partworks can be a bit, I don't know if haphazard's the right word, but they tend to jump around a lot. So, so you'll find yourself working on a bit of hull one time, and then you're working on an interior room the next time, and it gets a little bit, I don't know if haphazard's the word, but I like the way they've done Titanic, where you work on one bit and you stick to that until it's done. So by the time you're done with it, it's an absolute relief to be finished with, say, the engine room, for example. And then you move on to the bridge, and you go, ooh, fantastic, nice iconic piece. And then you do the rest of the boat deck, and by the time you're done, you're so absolutely sick of it that you're glad to get back onto the hull again. So you build some more hull, and once you're just about tearing your hair out with the hex screws that they give you for the hull pieces, you then move back onto another decking section. So you don't get the opportunity to get so annoyed that you don't want to do it anymore. Part of one of the first models I started was Ecto 1, and I just found it so grim because there seemed to be no progress for the first interminable amount of time. You were just sitting adding imperceivably small pieces to the engine, but once that was done, the subframe and everything sprang up really, really quickly. You ended up with the full length of the car. It was quite impressive. But as I say, sadly, although Fanhome have taken over the Ecto 1 build, they're not prepared to give me the display base I've already paid for 90% of. So, yeah, I'm not going to be continuing, and I'm not going to be doing anything else through Fanhome because their attitude was, quite frankly, stinking. That's that all painted up. So now, again, just gently peel the backing off. Hopefully without any of the planks coming off. Very good. And now, just lay it gently onto the decking, making sure it all fits down into all the nooks and crannies. Smooth it out. Yeah, that looks fantastic. I like the white border that goes around there. Very nice. Superb. And then the final stage is, you'll never guess, screwing it to the existing deck. So again, they supply us with 5 AP screws. We only need 4. Now, I do keep the spare screws. Probably not going to need them, but I do keep them anyway. So bringing over the piece of decking we worked on earlier, you can see on there are some holes. Now they're for pillars that go into the decking to, basically, on the actual ship they acted as supports. If you look there, that's not a lot of area for the boat deck to sit on. So these were pillars that were in the promenade deck to basically help it hold the boat deck up. But that's not why we're here. We're here to attach this final piece of the promenade deck. Again, 4 screws. And despite not having the metal joining plates that the boat deck has, this feels remarkably more secure than the boat deck did when it was all pieced together. The boat deck does feel more secure now that it's got all the superstructure and the deck housings attached to it, but at the time it was very, very flimsy and I was very concerned. As I said before, with Bismarck, the decking was divided into 4 separate sections so that you could lift each off and work underneath them. They were all joined together by one wiring harness, of course, but that was easy to get in and unplug. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Titanic to enable you to get under and do some servicing. But yeah, that's that. And that is all there is to do. You can get some sort of perception of the length of the boat deck now, promenade deck now. But yeah, that's everything there is to do in issue 71. So that's us all done for issue 71. What's coming in issue 72? We have an LED strip to start the lighting. We have the aft grand staircase, because obviously it doesn't have an outlet on the boat deck. That is its top section, so it has the clock and everything on it. We have some windows, we have some screws, and we also have the first of the promenade deck housings. So yeah, that would be fun. That, as I say, is the final issue I have at the moment, is issue 72. So we'll get on with that shortly. But before we do, this is the Promenade Deck thus far. Just to give you an idea of the size, I'll wheel my chair back. It is absolutely massive. Just magnificent. Magnificent. Yeah, so I'm really chuffed with that. Again, I don't know where I'm going to put it. But yeah, so thank you for watching issue 71. Do join me for issue 72 shortly. And we will crack on with some more of the Titanic. Any feedback, comments or criticisms, drop them below. Any questions, drop them below as well. Any suggestions for what else I could build, drop them below. But as always, thank you for watching and peace out for now.